everyone, Yōkai here. Today I'm going to be watching the 20th episode of Mawaru Penguindrum. And last episode we definitely had some stuff with Himari, like a bit of a confrontation scene between her and Natsume, where Natsume was just essentially bullying her, really, and trying to drudge up those past memories which have been locked deep within. And yeah, it turns out Himari not actually like a blood-related sister, born member of the family. She in fact was rescued from the child murder factory, as I kind of want to call it, and was just kind of like invited into the family, right? Which is how things really got started. So that was probably a pretty big reveal in the episode. So I guess we'll just jump into here and see exactly where we continue from that. So yeah, 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Some kind of lecture. Is this the father? Flame of hope. You gotta keep it alive. Definitely has some guests over. And yeah, it definitely does sound like cult talk, so... Survival strategy. Man, I can't believe just him saying that word alone gave me chills. But yeah, we're definitely getting started with this. I mean, it was a real riveting speech. Probably doesn't justify what's, what they're gonna do, but... We still have the diary split in two, right? Survival strategy. I mean, it's not like the show invented those words, but... Just a very specific mental image comes to mind when I hear it now. Okay, looks like we're going back to where we left off. In the rain. Is Natsume still around? Yes, she is. And the lack of any kind of BGM really is just unsettling. We don't care? Question mark? As long as they acknowledge it, that's kind of the important thing. Brother? Apple giver? Okay, there's that too. Not sure that leaves Kanba though, but don't tell him that. Well, at least things settled down and we're all okay. I've never gotten used to just how this room looks. It's just very interesting interior design. I mean, a contribution is a contribution. Could you not do it that way? Reminds me of the scene with Kazuma from Konosuba, except not as well animated. Way to kill the mood, man. Freaking penguins. Okay, we're back here. Do you have to? Because I prefer to be chased. What are you guys doing? Not really the kind of thing you can just decide. Not necessarily. What are you guys doing? That's a sentence. Being empty just means you have room to fill yourself up. He's way too close, by the way. That's also quite a sentence. The bunny's just rubbing the ears. We suddenly like shifted into talking about kisses, and the word kiss was said at least a couple dozen times in that fairly short conversation. Life's not fair sometimes. I definitely get it. It's really not. Okay. I don't get why that's a problem. I guess I'm missing a puzzle piece. Holy fire. You don't say. How dare they? I just love the way he interprets and phrases these things. I got like matching shirts and stuff. Okay, apparently they're over there. Show. Understandable. A lot of this would just go over the head of a child. And good God, there's a lot of those memory balls. I think those are the memory balls. There's some kind of balls. Oh, so you're gonna drop that apple if you're not careful. Oh, I think I saw Himari. Well, she doesn't look all that happy. So yeah, this is before that one scene. Would you like to be part of my family? We have an opening for any Moto character. I have apples. See. It's... Well, we'll hang out and be friends, and then we won't be strangers anymore. Then you can take my apple. You don't know that. You just need proper water and everything to nurture it. But she teleported away before I could say that. I hate when girls do that. Yeah, I didn't think she'd be there. But you gotta hope, right? I think I see the Himari here. I'm being invisible. Oh, a kitten. Okay. In a Mekon box, because of course it is. It's an abandoned cat, just like she's an abandoned child. Yeah, that's the word for it that they use. His cuteness was consumed. No pets allowed. My pet's right over there, so... I mean, where I live used to not allow animals. I mean, it did and didn't and did is kind of... The place I live has had a lot of owners since I lived here. I'm climbing and nobody can stop me. I'm reaching the peak. I've heard that some cats like to be on the shoulders, but my cat definitely does not. This kitty cat is like the sun. It shines a light on my cold life. It really is. Warm name. Okay. I think they said Sun-chan, like, you know, the honorific chan attached to, yeah, the English word sun, I guess is what they said there. It will not be tolerated. Very angry, written text. Uh, uh, oh, God. That is definitely not... Okay. A cold day, too. No warmth here. Our warmth has been taken away. Can you choose yourself? Can that be a loophole? Is that a note on it? Yeah, to show goodbye. Have a fun and responsible life. And don't go to the child broiler! It's a terrible, terrible place. Dad, can I adopt a sister? So it's just a thing people know about. The child broiler just sounds like it would be so illegal. Well, that silence definitely is a yes. It's an epidemic. So we must continue acts of terrorism until the world is better. Well, I mean, it's pretty clear where he's going. That was such a... Uh, uh. And we have the power of hindsight, so we already kind of know how this all ends, but... Still quite sad. He just got that scarf. I'm impressed he actually gets there with just this weather, his size, the distance. The fact that she got a head start. Oh wow, this music. That's loud. And impactful. Ah, God, those blades. Every time I see them, I just imagine a small child being dropped into it, and it's not a pleasant thing to think about. they make it look like shards of glass or whatever, but, you know, in reality, that's not what would be flying around if a child was dropped in there. That looks very unsafe. Man, almost like stars, like a starry background. Life is pain. We are more than happy to choose you, Himari. Yeah, please don't run away again. Let's share that fruit of fate. Hopefully I'm not a stranger anymore. You were. And that's a good thing, because otherwise she would have been invisible / dead, whatever that was. That laugh was great. Apple curry. At least they're getting along quite well. Yeah, curry being Ringo's thing. Apple. I was gonna say curry being Ringo's thing and Apple being her thing, but Ringo's name literally is Apple. I don't know. So yeah, this episode was essentially just giving more context to the information we got at the end of last episode. And now we, now we know why like scars have a bit of special meaning to Himari. I think she probably associates it with that memory. Private girl. Mobius. If those two hands belong to the same person, it's very interesting how one's like so discolored. Okay. When did she become a AV actress? Well, I guess it wouldn't be a V, it's a book. But anyway, that was the 20th, I think, episode of Mawaru Penguindrum. And yeah, like I said, this episode was predominantly giving more context to the show Himari family union sort of thing, right? Because at the end of last episode, all we really learned is that Himari isn't like a blood-related member of the family. She was scouted by Sho and brought into the fold, right? That's all we really knew. And there was obviously a lot of questions left with that, so it's good to be able to get some real context on that, Not just context on that, but also context about some of what Sho is feeling in general. Because he's obviously felt a lot of guilt about the parents and everything that happened, right? And, I mean, it's understandable, but he seemed to feel more so than Kanba did. At least that's kind of the impression I got. And I guess this kind of explains that. I mean, because if you think of the Kamakura, Takakura, whatever their family name is, if you think of it as being like a cursed, sinful family or whatever, you know, then basically you have to admit that you pulled somebody into that, right? You know, which if you see your family as being a bad thing because of what your parents did, then you would have to see it as being a bad thing to bring someone else into it, you know? You would be responsible for that. So I guess that's kind of how show is processing things, is thinks about things, right? So that's something, you know, to understand there. But I'm pretty sure Himari herself is happy to have been brought into the family. I mean, the alternative was the child broiler. That's not really a good alternative. So as far as that specific thing goes, I don't think he realized anything to feel bad about, you know, with that. But we also had the stuff with Sanayoshi, whatever the pink-haired dude's name is, right? And the weird black rabbit thingies he has that keep doing their own thing. But not really too much to say about that scene. There's a lot of talks about kissing and fruits. I'm not sure how to fully process all of that, but, like, I mean, she obviously thinks highly of Sho. You know, I think she called him, what is his like, her fated person or something. However they translated Unmei no Hito, right? Like, it's obviously a big deal. So, Himari obviously having some complex feelings about that, trying to, you know, deal with all that as well. And I guess he was sort of helping with that, if you want to call it that. But, yeah, we also got the father. We actually got to see some of his, like, cult leader kind of speeches, you know, the kind of thing that gets the masses all riled up, right? And, I mean, that's kind of a prerequisite to have a decent cult, right? Is to have a leader that can give those good speeches. And even though generally whatever you're doing or believing is very flawed, you know, you got to be able to sell it in a way that gets people, that gets under their skin, that can resonate with them, you know. And so, yeah, generally that's an important skill to have, and he does seem to do a pretty good job of it, right? Because, I mean, a lot of the things he's saying, there's not really anything fundamentally wrong with it. Usually the wrongness comes from the execution process, right? But that sort of thing, generally. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, because in a lot of works of fiction, you know, there'll be like a terrorist organization, you know, a revolutionary group, whatever you want to call it, that sees something wrong with the world and are trying to fight the good fight to improve it, right? Final Fantasy VII, I think, was also like that. So, you know, sometimes as a result, I have a knee-jerk reaction to support that kind of thing in fiction, especially when it's like the parents of the main characters, right? You know, that's kind of my initial thing. But obviously, you know, they're killing people. It's not, what they're doing is really not a good thing from what we've seen so far, and there's a lot of guilt and suffering that's resulted from it, from fellow family members that are ashamed of what their parents did, and people who were victims of what they did and all that. So it's obviously not quite like that here, but so it just leads to some mixed, complicated feelings, you know, about how to think about everything, really. But yeah, so I'm not really sure what more to say on that kind of thing. But I am glad Himari did not just get thrown in the child broiler as a child, you know. Even if she was brought into our complicated family, I do think that was the best for her, right? But, so yeah, I think that's all I really got to say on the episode. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.